My precious child, I see you sitting there with eyes heavy from nights spent replaying every memory, every word, every smile that now feels like a wound instead of a blessing. And I need you to understand with all the love in my heart that you're mourning a person who was never meant to stay, not because you weren't worthy of their presence, but because I have always been orchestrating something greater for you that required their absence. Though your soul aches and your mind searches for reasons, the truth is that I removed them because I could see far beyond what your heart could perceive in this moment. I saw the hidden cracks behind their kind words, the subtle patterns that would have grown into storms capable of crushing your spirit. And I, being the father who loves you too deeply to let you settle for something that was never going to last, intervened in a way that felt like breaking to you, but was actually building. Because, child, every tear that has fallen from your eyes has been caught in my hands, and every sob that escaped your chest has echoed in heaven as a call for me to hold you tighter. I never asked you to stop loving or to erase what you felt, but I am asking you to release them from the sacred space in your heart they no longer belong to. For their chapter in your life has closed, and no amount of revisiting old conversations or scrolling through memories will reopen it. I allowed them into your journey for a reason, perhaps even a season where they brought lessons you didn't know you needed, where they reflected pieces of yourself back to you, both beautiful and broken. But not every soul is assigned to walk with you in a forever, and clinging to what I've asked you to lay down is only prolonging the healing I long to pour over you like oil on dry skin. I want you to remember that even now, as you sit in silence, feeling the heaviness of their absence, the weight pressing against your chest like an invisible stone, I am closer to you than your next breath, whispering reminders of your worth into the quiet corners of your heart, telling you that their leaving was not a rejection of your value, but a redirection toward the fullness of life I've prepared. And though it feels cruel, though it feels like loss beyond words, it is actually my mercy disguised as heartbreak. For I cannot allow the roots of a relationship I did not plant to entangle themselves any deeper into the soil of your destiny. I see how you revisit your mistakes, wondering if you pushed them away or if you could have done more to make them stay. But, child, it was never about what you did or didn't do. It was about the spiritual assignments I've placed over your life and the necessity of removing those who would have weakened your walk had they stayed longer. You were never designed to be a prisoner of your past, nor to carry the weight of another's decisions on your shoulders like chains. And every time you reach for them in your mind or wish for their return, I'm standing in the doorway of your heart, gently asking, will you trust me enough to let them go, to believe that what is ahead is worth far more than what is behind? Because I have seen what you haven't, the tears they never showed, the words they never said, and the places where their love was conditional though you were willing to give yours unconditionally. I am here to remind you that no loss in me is final, and no goodbye leaves you empty when I am the one filling your soul. You're not defined by who could not stay. You are defined by the one who has never left your side and never will. So let me be your comforter, your restorer, your healer as I guide you out of this valley of grief and into the wide open spaces of joy I prepared. For even though you feel like you are standing in ashes, I am already planting seeds for beauty to rise in its place. And one day not far from now, you will look back and thank me for the no that broke your heart because it made room for a yes that will bring peace so deep it will heal parts of you you thought were beyond repair. So lift your eyes, beloved, wipe those tears, and know that this is not the end, but the gentle unraveling of something you were never meant to carry into your future. Because I promise you what's coming will not require you to beg, to lose yourself, or to question your worth again. It will be a love, a joy, a purpose so anchored in me that you will wonder why you ever feared letting go. Child, I see how your soul still reaches for their memory, as though touching the fragments of a dream that slipped away too soon. How your heart replays every word, every moment, every smile that felt like eternity captured in flesh. And yet I also see the silent ache, the hollow echo they left behind, the unanswered questions looping in your mind like a song you can't turn off. And I need you to know this was not punishment, but protection. Not abandonment, but alignment, because they were never meant to stay beyond their season in your life. Their presence was a lesson, a mirror, a catalyst for growth. And while you mourn what feels like loss, heaven rejoices that you were preserved from a future that would have broken you in ways you could not imagine. There were things hidden deep within them that your eyes could not yet see, but I, as the author of your story, saw the cracks forming long before they widened into chasms. I saw the words they never spoke that would have wounded your spirit, the choices they would have made that would have entangled your destiny and suffocated the calling I placed upon your life. And because I love you too deeply to watch you be diminished, I intervened. I removed, I redirected, even when it felt like betrayal, because sometimes my mercy doesn't feel like mercy when it's severing ties to someone you thought was your forever. But child, their role in your story was never meant to extend beyond this chapter, and you're clinging to what I've already released is delaying the healing I'm pouring into you even now. Don't you see how I've been whispering through your restlessness, sending signs through dreams and patterns that repeat until you finally release your grip? Don't you see how I've been nudging you toward the people and places that will anchor your soul rather than drain it? This is not to say they were evil or unworthy of love, for I love them too. But their walk was not destined to intertwine with yours into eternity. And their inability to stay was a reflection of my higher plan, not of your lack. I need you to remember who you were before their presence defined your worth, before their absence felt like a punishment, because the identity I placed within you was never meant to hinge on the affection of one who could not carry the weight of your calling. You are more than the love they could or couldn't give. You are a chosen vessel, and this pruning, though it cuts deep, is making space for a greater bloom. For I am sending people into your life who will love without agenda, without fear, without conditions, and you will know the difference because their love will not require you to shrink or silence yourself, but will celebrate every layer of your existence. And even now, behind the veil of what you can see, I am orchestrating divine encounters, aligning hearts, healing broken places, and preparing a union so holy that this current heartbreak will pale in comparison. But you cannot receive what's ahead if your hands are still clinging to what I've removed. So lay it down at my feet, child. Lay down the memories, the questions, the longing, and let me fill the void with my presence until joy overflows again. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. And one day you will see how this loss was the doorway to a love so sacred and pure it will feel like coming home. And every tear you cried will water the soil of your next season, where beauty will bloom wildly in places you once thought barren. And all of heaven will rejoice with you as you rise into the fullness of what I have prepared. You keep asking yourself what you could have done differently, where you went wrong, what flaw in your spirit repelled the one you wanted so desperately to keep. But my child, it was never your fault. It was never about your worth, your beauty, your loyalty, or your love. It was about alignment with destiny, about a soul contract that had expired even though your heart still beat in rhythm with theirs. And I need you to understand something holy today. Not every presence in your life is meant to be permanent. Some souls enter as assignments, as temporary guardians or teachers. Their role, not to complete your journey, but to shape it, to awaken something within you, to prepare you for something greater. And though their departure tore open wounds that you didn't even know existed, I allowed it because I am committed to your healing more than your comfort, to your growth more than your attachment. And the more you cling to what was, the more you delay what is coming. And right now, behind the veil, there are angels weaving new connections, closing old doors with grace, shielding your energy from the spiritual residue they left behind. Because yes, even in their silence, they left an imprint on your atmosphere. And I'm cleansing it now, sweeping out what your spirit cannot carry into your next elevation. And I know there were promises made, futures imagined, prayers whispered together in the dark. But I also know what they didn't say aloud, what they buried beneath their own fear, pride, or hidden wounds. And I protected you from having to unravel that brokenness every day of your life. You see it as rejection, but I call it release. You feel it as pain, but I'm calling it preparation. And I haven't been distant through your grief. I've been right beside you, catching every tear, interpreting every sigh that your lips couldn't form into words, because you didn't just lose a person, you lost a version of yourself that only existed in that connection. And now I'm calling forth the new version of you, the one who doesn't settle for half-hearted love, the one who recognizes the red flags and walks away, the one who doesn't beg for a place in someone's life when I've already prepared a place for them in yours. The one who no longer waits for closure from a human heart when my spirit has already sealed the door. And even now, I am stirring something in your soul. Can you feel it? The shift, the lift, the subtle stirring like the first breeze before a storm of blessing. Because I haven't just removed them from your life, I've planted you in new soil, and the roots you're growing in this season will carry fruit you never imagined, fruit that will feed not just you, but generations. And when the memory of them comes to haunt you late at night, don't run from it. Surrender it to me. Tell me how it hurts. Tell me what you miss. And I will hold space for your pain while I simultaneously infuse your heart with peace. The kind of peace that doesn't need explanations or apologies to begin again. Because, child, your story didn't end with their goodbye. It merely turned the page. And I am the author, still writing, still redeeming, still working all things for your good. And what's coming next will not confuse you. It will not leave you guessing. It will not make you beg. And you will recognize it not by the butterflies in your stomach, but by the stillness in your spirit, because real love doesn't shake you. It settles you. It doesn't manipulate you. It mirrors me. And in this quiet place of surrender, I'm aligning you with a divine love, a love that reflects my heart. And when it arrives, you'll understand why I had to break what you were trying so hard to build on unstable ground. You'll understand why I closed the door so suddenly. And the gratitude you feel for that ending will one day overshadow the sorrow you feel now. So keep walking forward. Even if your steps are slow, keep trusting me. Even if your heart is bruised, because your destiny is unfolding and I'm not finished yet, not even close. Child, I need you to understand something sacred. Grief has never been the sign that you failed. It has always been a sign that you loved with purity, with depth, with intention. And even though the person you're mourning has walked away or faded or simply become unreachable, your tears have not gone unnoticed in heaven. Your sleepless nights, you're wondering what you could have done differently. Your aching silence as you scroll through memories that refuse to disappear. None of it is wasted in my eyes. None of it is invisible to me. And though the world may tell you to move on or get over it, I do not demand your healing on a timeline. I do not rebuke your softness. I cradle it. I sit beside you in it. Because what you're mourning is not just the person, but the version of yourself you were when you felt safe in their arms, when you believed you had found home in their smile, when you built dreams around the idea that they were your forever. And that grief is valid, but it is not the end, because I am the God who rebuilds from ruins, the one who walks with you into the aftermath and says, let's start again, the one who never wastes pain but transforms it into a platform for purpose. And child, What you don't yet realize is that while you're weeping over what was, I'm preparing what will be, and what's ahead is not a lesser love. It's not a consolation prize. It is redemption so fierce that it will erase the bitterness of what you lost, and you will understand why it had to break before it could bless, why it had to end before you could begin, for there are doors I could not open in your life until this one closed, blessings I could not pour out while your heart was tangled in something that no longer served your growth. And yes, I know it hurts, but healing is hidden in the hurting. Strength is born in the struggle. And there's a version of you that is emerging stronger, wiser, more spiritually aligned. Because of this season of mourning, not in spite of it. And one day, not too far from now, you will look back at this person not with longing, but with gratitude. Not because they gave you everything you needed, but because their absence taught you to find that wholeness in me. Because their goodbye became the spark that led you back to your identity in heaven. And I will use every wound to anoint you, every rejection to position you, every tear to carve the way for triumph. But I need you to stop idealizing what I have released. Stop romanticizing what could have been when I am still writing what will be. Because the longer you stay in the graveyard of what if, the longer you delay the promise of what's next. And your promise is not coming. It's already on the way, already forming, already breathing beneath the surface of what looks like stillness. And even now, as you read this, your angels are aligning things, your spirit is awakening, and your future is quietly making its way toward you, steady, unstoppable, and drenched in my favor. So wipe your tears, beloved, not because you must be strong, but because strength is already inside of you. And the pain you're in today is proof that something sacred is unfolding even if you don't see it yet. You have not been abandoned. You've been chosen, redirected, and set apart for a divine comeback that will shake the very places where you once wept. And all of heaven is holding its breath for the moment you realize this heartbreak didn't destroy you, it uncovered you.